Hello, Kris here, Green Sabre. Doom Telly time again, episode 35. You will not... 35? I don't know why I said it like that. 35. You'll notice I went missing last week. Yeah, a combination of a couple of things, where it was a fucking training day at the boy child's nursery, so... yeah, that kind of fucked everything. And also, I wasn't really... I had one thing I was going to talk about, and I didn't think it really constituted an entire video, so I thought I'd save it for this week. And this week's a bit of a fucking ramshackle thrown together, bloody blah blah. So we'll see how it goes. Basically, brief Green Sabre update, and a couple of... one Green Sabre gig update and another gig that I went to update, plus a small collection update. I was hoping that my collection update would be 2 records larger, but because it's nearly the end of the month, I'm holding off to collect them. Many thanks, Scott, at Crash, for holding on to them for me, but I'm waiting till we get paid before I go and collect those 2. The 2 in question, by the way, are the new Church of Misery, that is fucking sensational, and the new Queens of the Stone Age, which I also think is really, really good. It's not a patch on the new Church of Misery, I have to say. But I think it's a welcome return to form for them. And as I've mentioned before, I am quite a fan of Queens of the Stone Age. So, yeah, I'm liking what I've heard so far for that. Right, where do I begin? Green Sabre update, I suppose. Okay, firstly, we did a gig last night. Yes, at the Underworld in Bradford, supporting Kill the Witch. They were the headliners, and Void Lurker were on as well. Cracking little venue. It's a really good stage setup. The sound's beautiful. The drums sounded fucking amazing. Sound guy did a really, really good job with some technical issues as well, because his monitor, something to do with monitors, kept fucking dropping off. So we just basically had to have like a general mix in the monitors, which kind of worked for the most part, I have to say. Yeah, we didn't have a bad night ourselves. I was having tuning issues. I said on the night, I said it was my fault for being professional. I'd restrung the guitar on the Thursday beforehand. Now, usually I have, I think I know where I went wrong this time around. Usually I have a bit of a restringing routine because I'm fucking dreadful at restringing. It takes me a long time. You know, like you say, roadies fucking rattling off restringing a guitar in about fucking 35 seconds. I've no idea how they do that. It takes me a good 45 minutes to restring a guitar. It takes me for fucking ever because I want to get it just right, and then I'm sort of holding it. And also, my excuse, these fucking super fat gauge strings that I use, they're not easy, particularly that fucking G string, that if you're not fucking careful with that, it'll take your face off. Yeah, it's just like a fucking bit of like piano wire. It's they're hard work. So yeah, my usual routine is I restring it. The strings I use, I had been using Mammoth Slinkies, Ernie Balls, and I do like them. I love the gauge and I love the feel of them, but they last about 5 minutes. So I've moved on to these. They're called Elixirs. And they're kind of coated. Now, they take a bit of getting used to, because they've got, with this coating on them, they've got, like, extra slide. You can slide right off the fucking neck at first if you're not careful. But, yeah, take a bit of getting used to. But, fuck me, they last forever. And in hindsight, I might as well have just left, because they'd only been on a fucking month at those strings anyway. And we'd only done 1 gig and 4 rehearsals. I'd done 1 gig, the Lizard Fest one, and 4 rehearsals on that set of strings. And they felt as good as new. I just thought, no, I'll be good. I'll restring it. Anyway, long story short, my routine got somewhat hampered with like childcare and blah blah and basic having to do shit around the house. So I kind of rushed it, and I think it was Rossi said last night. Anyway, long story short, I got to the middle of Loss, and I could hear something. I'm like, something's fucking pulling here. And I was about to blame Gaz for him being out of tune. And then I get to the quiet section where I do the clean guitar bit straight away. Like second, I'm like, oh, fuck, it's me. It had held all right to a point. And then I retuned it before that song. Thought, feels like it's slipping here. And I kind of rushed that tuning and obviously didn't quite get it right. But yeah, Rossi said afterwards, so I had to like retune it every fucking song. And it's not like I'm fucking battering the hell out of it. But yeah, Rossi's like, did you stretch them strings out properly? I'm like, yeah, I think I did. And yeah, I usually, my stretch out routine, which is probably, there'll be people gasping, you know, professional guitarists out there. But I put them on, string it, get the tension, get the tuning roughly right, and then I'll literally fucking pick it up by the strings and stretch them out that way. And I definitely, that's part of my routine. I definitely did it a couple of times, but I don't know if I did it all to, yeah, basically, I just keep doing that until it stops losing tuning, most of the point. You fucking grab the strings like that, it'll always lose a bit of tuning, to be fair, but yeah, until it sort of settled, and I don't know if I quite settled it, but anyway, that was fucking 2 minutes of absolute fucking waffle about tuning a guitar that you probably do not care about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Well, I just did. So yeah, barring a few tuning issues, we had a really good night, decent turnout. I mean, I say a decent turnout for us. There were about 20 people, and I have to hold my hat off, 20 fucking fabulous people. But yeah, it was decent for us. Voidler could come on, who I thought were great. They sounded amazing. Really good, heavy, sludgy. His voice reminded me of early Chuck Schuldiner in places. But yeah, with really sludgy, stonery, grinding, doomy riffs. But it already, I think there were about 15 people left at that point, and fuck, I mean, Kill the Witch, I think there were 3 people left. It was really, it was, you know, I'm not having a go at anyone that turned out, because thank fuck that you people came, and we, you know, this is what I say about the Bradford scene. It's amazing. You know, you get the same regular faces. They're there. They'll come and watch you. Fucking all weathers, all conditions. Yeah, you know, it's just fabulous. So I cannot thank you guys enough that did turn up. Made our night. But it's one of them, Sunday night in Bradford's a weird city. I mean, it's like a fucking, it was like I did start worrying when I was going to the gig. It was like 4:30 I got there. And it were like a ghost town. This is the city centre. And there were no one on streets apart from a drug deal that was taking place when I got there. Was shameless. They weren't trying to hide it. Yeah, just a few homeless people rattling about the place. I thought, fuck me, it's quiet. And that was an omen, shall we say, unfortunately. But yeah, I felt sorry for him. And it was one of that where always when we gig, we rehearse in Preston. So, unfortunately, Rossi's like a military operation. As soon as we're off, right, clean up, pack up, get loaded up. I'll go and get the van. I mean, Rossi's fucking ace with that, but he is like a drill sergeant at times. But he keeps us all under control, which is good. And yeah, so the rest of the lads end up having to go. I mean, it's lucky for me when we gig over here, because I don't have to fucking unload. So they all have to pile back to Preston in order to get into the lockup in time, because it locks. The building closes at 11 o'clock on a Sunday. It's worse on a Saturday if we've gigged on a Saturday. It's like fucking 7 o'clock at night. It locks up. Yeah, anyway. So they had to fucking dive off. I only could, and I'm recording this at the fucking crack of dawn because I've got an early start. We work today. So I had to dive off one song in to Kill the Witch, which I felt awful about because it was already fucking quiet at that point anyway. But yeah, they were really, really good. I wish I could have stayed and held on to the set, and I wish they'd had a better crowd. It was one of them that I just wonder whether I don't remember seeing a massive amount of promotion for it, and I can only think that it just got sort of lost in the swamps of because there's a festival season sort of going on in Bradford at the minute as well, and I think it might have just got lost in amongst all of that. But it was a crying shame because they're a great band, Kill the Witch, and a great bunch of fellas as well. Really helpful on the night, sounded ace in the sound check, and that was about as much as I heard, sadly, because I had to dive off. But a great venue, and I'd definitely play there again. But yeah, one of our quieter gigs, sadly. But it was still good, barring the tuning issues. Right, so that's enough of the Green Sabre. No, not enough of the Green Sabre update. There is one more. We can finally announce, and I have finally announced on the social medias, our first gig in Manchester, and I cannot fucking wait. I cannot tell you how long I have been trying to get my proverbial fucking hoof in the door over there in Manchester. At times, I'm from Leeds, And I will readily admit that Leeds is a fucking really weird clicky scene. It's really difficult to get in at venues over here, and I'm still struggling. But watch this space. There are a couple that aren't clicky, and I'm building up connections with them. But I want to make sure it's the right night to get a decent turnout. So I'm still working on some at Boom potentially, or there is another one here that's name escapes me now. But anyway, Manchester's always been fairly sort of welcoming and stuff like that, and it feels weird, like something happened after COVID and after lockdown, where it's all gone in-house. And unless you're a big name that's going to pull in a crowd, the promoters don't seem to want to fucking know over there. It's been really, really hard to get on the radar of promoters. And I feel like, Beardy Red Viking, I feel like I owe you a gigantic pint, one of my famous gigantic pints. Because I feel like you might have had something to do with this, with the promoter that did finally get in touch with us for this gig over in Manchester. So if it wasn't you, Simon, then I'll thank you anyway, because I definitely remember you. There was a social media post where you tagged us into it saying, check these guys out. And it was that promoter that's been in touch. So, so a gig at the Pier Hat in Manchester. Now, I'll be honest, I'd never fucking heard of that venue before it was mentioned on it, but it don't look too bad. I've been doing a bit of sort of online stalking, and it looks like quite a good venue, to be honest. So yeah, quite looking forward to that. Jeremiah AD and Acid Trip were announced as sort of co-support with ourselves. We're third on, incredibly, so we're kind of like, we even got dangled at this gig. I cannot believe it. I've never been dangled before. This has been my first dangle, and I've enjoyed the experience, let me tell you. For the gig, they announced the first two, Jeremiah AD and Acid Trip, and then it was like, we're going to announce the next band in a week. Like, fuck, I remember messaging the lads saying, we've been dangled, lads. So, my first dangle. So, yeah, this will go down in history, I'll remember this. So we got dangled, and the headliners were dangled too, but we'd already been told who the headliners were, and I had to sit on it, because I was like, fucking hell, this is quite a big name. Frog Lord, yes, the mighty Frog Lord from Bristol. It was one of them where Gaz virtually fucking soiled himself when I told him the news of who we were supporting. So yeah, Frog Lord, us, Jeremiah AD, Acid Trip, the Pier Hat, Manchester, Bank Holiday Monday, the 28th of August. Cannot wait. Like I say, this is my foot in the door. I'm determined to take this chance here because I want to gig Manchester. It's a great fucking scene over there. There's some great bands, and it's a big scene too. I mean, it's going to have to go some ways to beat the fucking Bradford scene, because I tell you what, there's no scene like Bradford on earth. You get your foot in there with them, you're made. They're fucking, to a man and a lady, they're a fantastic scene. They're dedicated. They'll come out to see you rain or shine. And it's a proper collective. All the, like, my mate Lee in Oakenthrone and all the Oakenthrone boys, just terrific. The Son of Boar guys, Lyndon, Gaz, thanks for coming out last night again, by the way, and you, Lee. The Wolves in Winter guys, Ian, Wayne, great to see you guys out. And it's just, yeah, it's a proper great collective scene. And the only people from other bands in the Bradford scene that weren't there had other commitments. Otherwise, they would have fucking been there. It is that good a scene. So any of you out there wanting to get into a northern scene, hit me up. Let's do Bradford. Because honestly, you won't regret it. It's fucking ace up here. Kill the Witch might tell you otherwise, sadly, with the fucking turnout yesterday. And it was a really disappointing turnout. But it's one of them. There's not a lot you can do about it. This is kind of the landscape that we're in at the minute. It's difficult. It's, I think even with possibly better advertising, as I said, there's only so much you can do on Facebook as well with advertising it because of the fucking algorithms. You can share and share and share and share. But it don't always make a fucking shit of difference, unfortunately, with the way that they've got fucking social media algorithms set up these days. It's a fucking pain in the ass. So you can't really advertise. Maybe we need to go back to the days where you had all that fucking awful bucket of glue and a shit ton of posters and just go out in the dead of night and fucking fly poster everywhere. Maybe we need to go back to that. But, I mean, I'm glad that we don't have to do that anymore. But, yeah, there's something to be said about old school advertising. But anyway, so that's my Green Sabre update. The other gig that I've been to, which I will just roughly, because I'm not one of these that takes videos at gigs. I'll take the odd picture here and there, but I like to be in the moment. And I don't like to sort of view it through a lens, really. It feels like that sort of, I'm fucking here. It's right there. So, yeah, although I do like to have the memories of it all, to be quite honest with you, which I never really, I've got the memories, but I never really get the visual as such. So I can see why people do take videos. That's the point I'm getting at. Arth and Pantheist at the Huddersfield Town Hall a couple of weeks ago now. What a gig. If you weren't there, you missed an absolute fucking treat. That is all I can say. It was absolutely stunning. And if you had the opportunity to get there and didn't go, then you're a fucking loser, because I don't know whether they'll do anything like that again. It seemed like quite a fucking setup and quite an operation to do. And I don't think it was a sellout, but it was fucking full in there. It was a really, really good turnout. I was sat with Lee and Jan out of Oaken Throne. There was Hamish behind us from Godthrim. Simon sat next to us from Thy Listless Heart. It was a proper fucking who's who. I sat there thinking, what the fuck am I doing on this row of doom gods? It was, I felt a little out of place there at that, but I loved it, don't get me wrong. But everyone, it was fucking ace meeting you, Simon. So if you are watching this, nice to meet you in the flesh finally. Just a terrific night. So yeah, it was a proper who's who of everyone there. Aaron of My Dying Bride was there, of course, because he was narrating the show. So you got the full story of St Cuthbert between the songs, narrated by Aaron Stainthorpe in this grandiose venue with a fucking gigantic pipe organ at the back of the room, keeping the atmospherics going. It was absolutely fantabulous. Pantheists were fucking phenomenal. They were great, and that's the first time that I've seen them live, and I'll definitely be tapping up a lot more of their back catalogue, as well as getting to see them at the next opportunity that I get. I think, are they in the studio possibly recording the next stuff? But anyway, they were great. Not without a few sound issues that kept, and I don't quite know, and you'd look over at the sound desk in the corner, and I don't think they were overly sure what was happening either as well. Sort of, maybe it was, ghostly spirits. But yeah, barring the odd sound issue here and there, Pantheists were fucking great. But Arth, that album was made for these conditions, and so to see it and it was good. We're all sat there like we're at the theatre. It fucking fabulous. Everyone sat there taking it all in, and it was just brilliant. You had the Arth lineup of Mark and Kris, the bass player out of Winter Phillip there, making it up. You had your man from Pantheist on the keys, Aaron narrating, and you also had, I've forgotten his name, but the guy that was his ex My Dying Bride drummer, filling in for the night, and it was just brilliant. So, I only got pictures, but you should have been there. It was fucking £11. That is an absolute bastard steal for what you got there on the night. So it was a fucking fantastic gig. Great bands, great atmosphere, great company, and I had a fucking fabulous night. Okay, that's those updates. Let's go on my brief collection update. Like I say, there should have been 2 records larger, but skin, so they'll have to wait. So this is what I've got thus far. Any of you following my Instagram, and it's like, because I put stuff on Instagram and all that, I'm like, have I already shown this? So if I have, apologies. Thank you, Lee, for hitting me up with this one. Monolith Cult, their best album. And it's just fucking, it's great. And look, it's the nice blue vinyl version. Look at how beautiful and blue that is. Yeah, lovely stuff. I love this album, so to get it on a lovely blue vinyl, I'm fucking made up with that. So, cracker. So, that's a welcome addition to the collection. I've got both Monolith Cult now on vinyl. So, but I really like the debut. I think it's great, but it's not a patch on this. This is a beauty. I think did Chris Fielding produce this as well? So, it's got much fucking fatter sound to it too. Great album. So, welcome addition. Cheers, Lee. I'll stick with the vinyl editions before I move to CD. The new Bell Witch. It wasn't here last time that I did a collection update. It is now. It's just a black vinyl version, so there's no point in getting it out. But this is going to be one of the albums of the year, people. And yeah, I fucking love it. It's got everything that I love about Mirror Reaper, but with a little more immediacy in places. Does that make sense? It takes a while to fucking get going, does this? I think it's like fucking 10 minutes before we start getting the whole thread of the song, because of course it's one song that's like an hour and fucking 20 minutes or whatever it is. But again, it's just if you're not into Bell Witch, this isn't going to change your mind anytime soon. But if you are, you're going to fucking adore this record. And I'll even go so far as to say that it is right up there with Mirror Reaper for me. Is this? I may even think it's better. I'm only saying that because it's got more of a dynamic to it. There's some subtle keys in there as well, and I think it just feels like it might be a slightly more complete album. Does that make sense? But anyway, Mirror Reaper will take some beating, I have to caveat. But yeah, so thrilled to get this in the collection. So it's probably not going to get a massive amount of outings, but I'm glad that I've got it there all the same. Yeah, the new Bell Witch, the Clandestine Gate. Okay, this I picked up from Crash Records. Finally, I have it in the collection. 2023 reissue of Come My Fanatics, my favourite Electric Wizard album. Now, it is as well. I thought it was black vinyl at first, but it's not. It looks black to the untrained eye, doesn't it? But, well, yeah, you got a glimpse of it then. But I don't know if... A lot of glare, but I don't know if you can see this. There's a kind of weird greeniness to it. You're not going to be able to see that on there. But, yeah, it looks black at first. But, yeah, it's like a kind of weird misty green translucent. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, I was well made up with that because it was a bit of a vinyl treat with the weird green mistiness. But also, I didn't know they reissued it. It's a 2023 reissue as far as I can tell. And I can't even find it on Discogs yet. So I've not been able to add it to the collection on there. But I will do as soon as it turns up. But yeah, absolutely made up. Because this is one of them that I've looked at a few times on Discogs for previous press. It has been reissued before. But all the other presses are fucking daft money. 24 quid this was from Crash Records in Leeds. I think I might have bought the last one though, lads. So, sorry. Yeah, fucking ripper. Thrilled to get that in the collection. Like I say, my favourite Electric Wizard album if I had to choose one. CD editions. I got this for £1.50 on eBay. Now, looking at the cover, you can sort of tell why it was £1.50, but it's the digipack version of My Dying Brides, of course, like Gods of the Sun. Love this album. I never had a physical copy of it, weirdly. Never. This is the first time that I've ever had a fucking physical copy of it in said collection. So, yeah, I won't bother getting the little booklet out because it's a bit of a faff. But, yeah, the CD's in great nick. So, besides the battered fucking cover, I can live with that. But I love it. There's some fucking beauties on here. The title track, of course. The track For You, which I fucking love. And the last one that's name escapes me. What's it called? For My Fallen Angel. Some absolute fucking stompers on it. Some rippers, some beautiful tunes. So, yeah, thrilled to get this in the collection. Would have liked the vinyl, but I thought for £1.50 can't argue, really, can you? So yeah, beauty. Continuing on, the CDs, and I finally got hold of this. The new Ara album. Black metal from Switzerland. Female fronted, I believe, as well, which I didn't know until a few months ago. But, yeah, fancy digipack box. There's the actual album cover. Digipacks get a lot of bad press, and I don't mind them. Shock horror. I can't, you know. I know they don't sit in the collection as nicely as fucking the jewel cases, but yeah, I kind of, yeah, I don't mind a digipack. It feels a bit more like a tiny album. But anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, the new Ara, which is fucking stunning. I'm assuming most of you will have already heard this, but if you haven't, get your shit together because this is going to be one of my albums of the year. It's just a breathtaking bit of fucking relentless atmospheric black metal. If you've heard of Ara before, they're not reinventing the wheel on this album compared to their other back catalogue. In fact, this is part 3 of a trilogy of albums. Part 2 might still be my favourite if I had to pick one, but this is an absolute fucking beast. So, yeah, this will definitely be in my albums of the year list. The new album from Ara. And finally, my final CD edition is one of my favourite soundtracks of all time that I finally managed to track down. This wasn't so cheap. I think it were about 12 quid for a second-hand CD, but it is the U-Turn soundtrack. I also adore this film. I think it's fucking brilliant. Oliver Stone film that kind of largely went under the radar. It was one of them that was almost like straight to video. I'm sure it did go to the cinemas and stuff, but I mean, it's from a way back. Is it 94? 1994, possibly? Yeah, or around that neck of the woods. Great film, fantastic soundtrack. Now, you've got like a sort of, the first disc is like a various soundtrack. You've got like Peggy Lee on there. Who else? So you've got Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, Ricky Nelson, Gloria Lynn. There's lots of sort of country classics on there as such, like on the A side. But like classics, and I love it. There's I think there's a few as well that are in the film which haven't made that bit, which is always annoying, but it's a rights issue thing and blah blah and all that, isn't it? The second disc is the score, the cinematic score for the film, which is the reason that I fucking bought it. And it is Ennio Morricone firing on all cylinders. It is a fucking fabulous, eerie, magnificent, majestic, epic score that he's done for this. And it really captures... I mean, the film's like an all-star cast. If you haven't seen it, go and hunt down U-Turn. It's a great... It's just one of these kind of dramatic... It's almost got like a Coen Brothers vibe to it. You know, that kind of like one of them, everything that can go wrong does for like the lead character. And it's how he, and he ends up in the middle of the fucking desert in small town America, and chaos ensues. I don't really need to tell you much more than that. If you haven't seen it, go and fucking watch it. I love it. And the soundtrack's just really captures the atmosphere of the film, the classic Morricone. So yeah, I'm really thrilled to get that in the collection. U-Turn. Okay, that's my video update. I'll try and get back to a bit more of a regular pattern. But, yeah, caveat to that, I'm going on holiday. Not next week, the week after, is it? Or whenever it is. So, you might get a video next week, but then there might be 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yes, of nothing. So, anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping to get back to that. Iron Void are playing Night Train in Bradford with Aura Druin and... The Human Condition, the third band. Anyway, whoever it is. But we either come back from holiday on that day, or the day before, sorry, or I'm travelling back on that day. So it's going to be logistically whether I fucking make it there or not, but I will do my best to get there. But yeah, so, yeah. Anyway, long story short, the videos might, just be a bit hit and miss for a bit yet before I get back to some bit of regularity. The band haven't got anything in July, so we're all... Gaz is away first, then I'm away, then I think Ross is away. So it won't be until the back end of July, early August, that we start picking up rehearsing again and getting our set and our shit together for this gig in Manchester on the 28th of August, which is the next gig that we've got in the calendar. So there are others coming, which we've already announced one of them at the Blind Pig in Selby Bridge, supporting the Gods of Hellfire. Really looking forward to that. That should be decent. That's Saturday, November 18th. I think we've got another gig that we'll be able to announce soon that's coming in the weekend before in November. The weekend before that, I'm at Damnation as well, so it's fucking all go. We're not playing that, sadly, even though I'd love to. That's on the fucking bucket list. So, Gavin, if you happen to be watching, come on, I'll play the fucking gate where they come in and you check tickets. I can say I've played Damnation, but anyway. So, yeah. Couple of gigs, one of which we've announced in November, one to come. There's another one in December, which we're hoping to announce soon as well. So, yeah, coming in thick and fast. We were hoping as a band that if we played 6-7 gigs this year, that would have doubled our tally for last year. But also would have been a pretty healthy fucking... Yeah, we can look back and be quite proud of that. But it's coming in that it might be looking like we're playing fucking 9-10 gigs this year. So, yeah, I'm really fucking... I know there'll be some of you thinking, what? Do that in one tour? But, yeah, We're not a touring band. We're not going to be a touring band. That isn't going to happen. So the most you'll get out of us is maybe 2 nights on bounce somewhere, 3 nights on bounce, absolute maximum. That's all we can commit to, what with work and stuff like that. It's difficult. We're aging rockers, so you bear with us. But yeah, so a few irons in the fire for this year. Recording, we're still going to try and squeeze in this year at some point as well, but that's probably looking like October as things stand at the minute. But I'm still working out options of what we're going to do. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Nice to see you all again. Like and subscribe. No new subscribers, but I haven't exactly been producing content, so that's understandable. So let's get some more. Let's keep those subscribers going up. Until then, thanks for watching. I will see you next week. So long.